Hi everyone, welcome back. I am Chan Mao, Community Evangelist at Alexio. Previously in the series of Getting Started with Alexio on Kubernetes, Sean has introduced the architecture and demonstrated how to deploy Alexio on Kubernetes. In the last part of this series, Sean will share some best practices with configurations and recommendations.
So now if we good with testing, we want next level of Elastic cluster that is not like a bare minimum. We have to have a more complex configuration file. So first, we better set resources that including CPU and memory for all the Elastic components. So we do have a default value, which was used in previous example, but Alexio does require some usage of your resource. So a bare minimum might not fully serve your purpose, especially if your workload is not trivial. And then you need to set this JVM options, XMX and XMS, to allocate heap size to your Alexio components. So heap size is crucial for Alexio components because that's basically the space it has to do all the computation. And then for the master journal, in the basic example, I was using empty directory, but that is not a persistent storage, which means if the Alexio master pod is killed for any reason, when it comes back up, all the journals will be gone. And this is exactly the reason why the basic configuration file is not for production. For a better experience, it will be much better for us to use a persistent volume to store Alexio master journal. So persistent storage can, according to its name, it is persistent. So after the pod restarts, for any reason, master still has all its history. And we recommend at least using local host machine storage instead of network storage because reading journal can take non-trivial time. So a local storage is going to perform better than network storage. Even better, you can use SSD or even NVMe to store your journal to faster the failover time of your master. And then for next section for Alexio master, it will be better to have multiple. And let me put it this way, it has to be an odd number so that they can achieve like a quorum. An even number will not work. And then for the tiered store section, this is where you need to configure for your Alexio cluster to use your designated storage space for workers, basically. The better or the faster your storage space is, the faster you can read your data. NVMe is definitely recommended. We also support memory. Of course, like memory is going to be even faster, but we all know memory is a very expensive resource. We might not want to use too much memory to store your data, which is why we recommend basically the second fast type of storage, which is NVMe. We also have two more special clients. The first one is Fuse. Fuse exposes Alexio storage as POSIX API. What POSIX API is, well, put in a common way, is you can access Alexio file system just as your local machine. So you don't have to, say, writing Java code or writing code to access Alexio data. You can easily use, say, ls or cat or echo or even echo to check out like data stored in Alexio. So this is very commonly used for machine learning and in AI cases because PyTorch and TensorFlow, they have very good integration with POSIX API. So if you want to check this out, you can see the doc here, and set this to true will enable POSIX API, and you can access data from there. And the next one is Proxy. Proxy offers S3 API to access data in Alexio. So this is commonly used for, I think, Spark, and basically for like S3 requests, you can send the request to Proxy to Alexio. And you can check out the doc here. So if you're already talking to S3 and you want to get like data faster or like basically saving costs, you don't have to rewrite your code. The same code can be reused to send requests to Alexio proxy instead of to S3. And set enable to true will enable our proxy services. Further tuning guides can be found at these two docs, performance tuning and scalability tuning. And these are very good, including good examples organized by our other engineers, very valuable resources. And for our next generation of Alexio on Kubernetes, we moved our open source code to this new repository. And the new Helm chart and operator are currently under development. And feel free to check it out and give us feedback. For the enterprise version, it will come out soon too.
That was the last part of this new series. Thank you for tuning in to Getting Started with Alexio on Kubernetes. We hope the series has helped you learn more about Alexio on Kubernetes with deployment, instructions, and best practices.
Check out our docs page on Kubernetes for more on advanced setup and troubleshooting. If you have any questions about deployment or tuning, you can find me on our Alexio Slack community. Thanks for watching.